Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Friday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. Good to see you. So, hey, it's earlier tonight, and I hope you got to see Mr. George's first performance. Some of you have, some of you may have posted a comment on it. I haven't seen yet, so I will go back and check. But if you haven't checked the last reel, if you would, I introduced my boy, Mr. George, to the stage with me, if you would, yesterday. And today he had his first performance, and I think he did really good. So if you would go encourage him, post the share his gig or post a comment on it. Anyway, I think you'll like it. For tonight, I have not told this story for a while. I think I told this story a few nights ago, but before that, I hadn't told this story for a while. And this tale is an old one. It's a story between a father and a son. Oops, a father and a son. But there's a few different takeaways that you can draw from this story, and I'll give you maybe one or two, and then I'll let you decide if you have a different one or not. So, father and son are in a house, and after a while, the son grows up, and he decides to move away to a far, let's call it a country away. So he goes away, and he starts to face multiple struggles and obstacle after obstacle. Anything he touches turns into dirt. I mean, this kid just can't have it. It has no, you guys know I don't believe in luck, but this kid has no luck, right? Meanwhile, his dad is getting wealthier and wealthier, and he's doing more investments, and he's doing wonderful things, right? And his dad moves, and that kid moves again, and the kid ends up actually moving to the same country, to the same region and town that his dad is now in. So dad, one day, he notices his son, poor as can be, with torn clothes and just on the side of the road. So he comes back home and tells a few of his servants. He says, "You know what? I want you to go get this guy and bring him in." They're like, "Okay." So they go to him, and they want to bring him in, and this guy, who's now older now, is not a kid anymore. This guy now, he kind of fears them because he sees them. They're all like clothed, and they have really nice jewelry and stuff on. So he's thinking to himself, maybe he did something wrong, and this is from the king, and maybe the king is trying to catch him or something. So he tries to run away. He tries to run away from these guys, and well, the word gets to the dad, and the dad tells the servants, goes, "You know what? No matter what, you gotta find this guy. I want you to bring him in." So they find him again, and they bring him in, and they wash him, they give him food, and they give him a place to stay. And the father, they give him a job, and every month, the father is keeping an eye on this. Is keeping an eye to see if this guy is actually showing up to work. Is he doing good? Is he kind? Is he sincere? So every month, as he's seeing his own son doing improving and doing more, and he's sincere and he's kind, so he behind the picture, if you would, he kind of promotes them from time to time. He promotes them month to month. As you're joining me live, let me know you're here. I would love to know who's here, who's not here. Maybe you drop a little comment, and we'll take it from there. But so as you're joining me live, and let me know you're here. I'd love to know who's here. The number of eyeballs go up. Now, if I say eyeball, see, I have this screen that it's got a little eyeball, and it tells me how many people are on the live. So it's usually off. But so I see that go up and down, but I don't know who's here, who's not here. Anyway, Team Money is here. Of course, Team Money is here. And then he calls me Persian for being late. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, the dad keeps promoting this kid until a whole year goes by, and finally the dad says, you know what, I want to invite this kid over. And it's not a kid anymore, but you know, to him it is. I want to invite this guy over and have him for dinner as well, and all the people who helped them, you know, with his clothing and food and shelter in the beginning, and kept kept him up all this time, and helped them, train them with the jobs and stuff like that. Then I want those people in on the evening as well. So they all get together. Usha, how are you? Welcome. Good to see you. And they all get together and they're having a wonderful feast. And that is very true. I'm doing better. I've told you I'm doing better. They're all having a feast, and the dad stands up and wants to make a speech, and makes a speech to everybody and says that this guy is actually my son. Can you imagine how everybody felt at that moment? Can you imagine how the son felt at that moment? So at that moment, you could hear a mic drop, right? But the son actually understood the point. And not only he was not disappointed, he was so thankful and grateful for what his dad had done. Okay? Now, the takeaways, you can do a few takeaways, right? I'll give you a couple of them, maybe one, at least one. One is that, well, you know, in life, you're not gonna get promoted from here all the way up to here right off the bat. It just doesn't happen overnight like that. You're gonna have to go through certain obstacles and struggles and failures and the slaps in the faces and losses and gains and losses and hurt and pain and losses, and you got to go through all that stuff. And every time you're going through that stuff, you're growing, and in a way you're getting promoted in life, if you kind of go with that idea. So you're getting promoted every time, because why? Because now you have a little bit more experience behind you. You know a little bit more. So every time this happens, you're getting promoted. It's like you're getting graduated from this level here, this class here, and you're going to the next class, right? And you just can't get promoted from the bottom to the top with one promotion. It doesn't happen like that in life. I don't know anybody who has. It doesn't last like that, right? So that's one takeaway. Now the second takeaway maybe would be, now what do you guys think about that takeaway? That's an obvious one, right? Maybe obvious. I mean, that is the truth though, because I mean, I can speak about my life, and Team Money probably could speak about his life, and most of you could about yours. that it's been gradual, you know, and sometimes you're stuck in that promotion, and it's like you're getting promoted, but you're like getting promoted in the darkness. You know what I mean? It's like these dark times. I'm getting it's like this much of a, you know, a dark time, but you're here. You just keep getting promoted in that dark period of your life, right? And I've been there. Now, boy, have I been there. Um, when you're in that time period, right? When you're going through that, like when this guy was going through the poverty and the failures and not being able to land anything at all, he wasn't thinking he was getting promoted, and he wasn't seeing the end of the, you know, the darkness. It's not like saying, oh, there it is, right? So sometimes you don't know. You just keep going with that hope, with that faith that, you know what, it is there, right? And I'm just getting closer to it. Correct? I'm just getting promoted one more. I'm just getting closer and closer. Now, I love that takeaway, by the way, because it hits home for me. It resonates with me. I don't know about you, but it kind of hits home with me, you know? Second takeaway, which is kind of maybe a different one. There's a couple more I could give you, but I'm going to just give you two. Maybe you can drop a different one down in your comments, in the comments. The second one, here's what I kind of like in a way. It's like, how come the dad didn't take action right away? How come the dad didn't tell the son, you know what, son, you're my son, so don't even trip. I got you. Why did he have to wait a year and put his son through all these tests, if you would? Why? And I had to pause and ask myself that question because, PK, what's up, money? P Money in the house. So I had to actually pause and ask myself that question, thinking, if had I been in that situation, if I were a dad, would I do that to my son? Would that happen? Would I do that? And I really have to think about that. But isn't that interesting that the dad didn't rush into giving everything to his son, right? Because we could rush into just, but you know, like Jim Rohn said, become a millionaire not because of the $1 million, but because of the person it has you become. Not because of the $1 million, but because of the person you become in the process in order to have $1 million a year income. It's kind of a backward thought, right? It's like if you get all of it at once, what would you do with it? You wouldn't even know what to do with it, right? 75% of lotto winners are bankrupt within 5 years because they just don't have the knowledge or the experience what to do with all that at one time. I love that the dad took his time. The dad put the son through a test. I love that. And I think that teaches me, I'm not even a dad, and that teaches me something. You know, hey, you know what? It just does, it's even if it's right there, okay, it means you got to work for it. That's the one that I really like, that takeaway with the father and the son. I feel like even if it's there, because the father, I mean, was wealthy, he's got all this cash, right? So even if it's there, right there, like right there, what you want is right there. Think about this. This is like a mic drop moment. If what you want, the wealth, the happiness, the success, the relationship, the health, whatever it may be, whatever it is you want, if it's right there, like it's like literally you can reach out and just boom, it's right there, right? But the point is you got to reach out. That little work, that you got to work for it, even if it's there. And I love that takeaway because it's not just handed to you. You know, you hear that. I've heard that a lot. It's not just handed to you. It's not just handed to you. But I've heard it in a different context and with a whole different tonality, right? If you take that whole statement, it's not just handed to you, and kind of spin it in a different way, you'll see what it's supposed to mean, right? It's supposed to mean you gotta work for it. It's just not, here you go, right? So those are my two takeaways. I thought of at least one more, but I ain't gonna drop it like that. You think of another or two other or however many other wow, that's a tongue twister, feedbacks or takeaways you can think of. Drop it in the comments below. Let this feed grow. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, if you haven't watched the last reel that Mr. George did, should check it out. I mean, that was his first performance. Give him some love. You know, I think he did pretty good. He did pretty good. If you have no idea who Mr. George is, then you're like, what is he talking about? I introduced I gotta come up with a title for him. My side gig, my partner, and my whatever you call him, okay? My duet guy. That guy. So I introduced a new guy with my gigs yesterday, and if you haven't seen that reel, oh my goodness, go see that reel. I had not posted that reel, and this is the truth I'm dropping here. I had not posted that reel for a week. I held on to it thinking about some stuff before I drop it. So I did a lot of thinking before I dropped that reel introducing him. So go check it out. And today he dropped his first gig. I think he did pretty good. So go check him out. Drop your thoughts, your comments on this one, on the reels. Just make them grow. I appreciate you guys. I'm actually in the process of unfriending a bunch of people again. I just, right before I came on here, I unfriended 100 people on Instagram. So it's about to go down, folks. Anyway, hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value. Drop your thoughts, your comments, your feedbacks, your love, your hate, whatever you like. Drop it in the comments below. Let this feed grow. I appreciate you guys. And until tomorrow, when we do it all over again, much love.